Everything you know is wrong. All that you are to learn is incorrect. The only truth that you hold is that one day this fortress of falsehoods you have created will collapse. That is, if you have not died already. Welcome to Magnolia. Last weekend, Skills USA competed in Corpus Christi. Skills USA is designed to give students real-world health applications, so that one day these students may save lives, or end them if necessary. We had 4 students place in first, the other 8 in second. For their safety, I've been asked not to announce the names of said students. However, I can tell you that we placed in first aid, practical exorcism, dental assisting, and necromancy. Well done, Bulldogs. The school administrators would like to remind students that they are to remain in the commons during PLC. Recently, hallways have started to vanish, and if you're not in the classroom when they do, you may find yourself wandering an empty hallway for all of eternity. For your convenience, we will be broadcasting hallway vanishings as they happen. On a related note, administrators chanted in unison that students are not to loiter in their vehicles when they arrive at the school. The Sheriff's Secret Police like to use that time when it's nice and dark to check for forbidden technology and install hidden cameras in students' vehicles. It's terribly annoying to them when they find the students inside their vehicle, and it takes away time from their very important work. As most of you listeners probably know, the Arby's on 1488 has closed a few months ago. No one knows why the Arby's on 1488 closed, as it's illegal to have that knowledge. But it has recently been announced that the restaurant replacing it will be a Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. Listener Michael Gray claimed that the clouds above the Arby's opened up to him and proclaimed that name. Mr. Gray is now moving to have the land used to be sacred ground. He believes that this message was a sign from God and is looking for followers. If interested in joining the cathartic movement, please see Michael Gray. He's sitting outside of the Arby's, praying. The hallways located in the lower east wing of the school have just vanished. I've received word that 3 students have disregarded my word and decided to roam the hall anyway. Those students are now missing due to their poor judgment. Listeners, if you see a Thomas Powell, Ann Ross, or Brandon Lopez, please call and let us know. We are unsure when these students will return if they do, or what state they are to arrive in, but we will keep you posted as more information arrives. Again, please remain inside your classrooms as you hear this. If you're not in one currently, find one. Listeners, we here at the station have been receiving some odd signals coming from an entity that I can only describe as the school itself. As I'm sitting here in the broadcasting room with its dim lighting and its thick aroma of coffee grinds, there are, on the vanilla-colored walls, words forming in the color that you see when you close your eyes. Oh no, listeners, not black, but every color in the spectrum of visible light. On that subject, a recent international conference of all countries that contain a noun or nouns in their name, such as the United Kingdom, the Dominican Republic, the United Arab Emirates, and, yes, listeners, the good old United States was called to discuss the ratification of 67 new colors. Isn't that just great, listeners? More colors. That's just dandy. Among the colors, a majority vote of the nations with nouns in their names are police box blue, ox breath, soup yellow, rabbit orange, spirus, trout, and tickle. But back to the omnicolor words on the wall that have been continually forming as I narrated the events of the Conference of Nations with nouns in their names. They seem to be hovering a smidgen above the wall. Or perhaps it's an optical illusion for some reason that occurs when all colors get their differences for long enough to gather around a fragment of the wall. They're becoming legible. My stomach hurts. That is not a personal confession for myself, listeners. That's what the omnicolored words say. We have been receiving a panoply of similar messages since earlier Tuesday. We're pretty sure, based off the content of the aforementioned, that they are a direct communication from the school itself. What could this mean, listeners? My stomach hurts. Anyway, let's go to now a word from our sponsors. Time is an illusion. The past is simply a construct designed to create an explanation of how you reach now. You're unsure, though. Is this body yours? Are these your thoughts? Your clouded mind tries to avoid these questions, finding comfort within the construct you have created. But slowly you return to these questions once again without result. What else exists outside your perception? You like to pretend you have friends, but are they your friends? My voice speaks into your mind, my words seeping into your thoughts. Can my words be trusted? In this small life, fact and fiction are one and the same, so it doesn't matter what you believe. The only unknown is what lies in the future. Will the collections of fictions you have created lead to anything important? What lies in your path? Is there any way to plan for the journey ahead? I'm not sure, but you can try. You can try until time gnaws away at your existence completely. Will it be worth anything in the end? Maybe. This word is brought to you today by the University Corner. Listeners, we have just received a phone call from none other than Ann Ross, one of the students who vanished along with the Lower East Wing. The call cut off, but I have recorded the conversation on my phone. Here it goes.
Help! I don't know where I am. It's dark and I'm scared.
Relax, let my words soothe you. Who am I talking to exactly?
Ann Ross?
Okay, Anne, I don't know exactly why you called our station rather than the Sheriff's Secret Police, but I'll see what I can do to help. Are Thomas and Brandon with you at the moment?
No. Thomas was with me, although he seemed to age at a faster pace, almost as though each hour to me was a year to him. He disappeared a minute ago.
On my notes, it says that you three went missing at 8:07 this morning. Is that accurate?
No, not this morning. It must have been days by now. I don't know how I'm even able to call. I've tried this a dozen times before. A number appeared on what I think is a wall. I tried calling it, and that's where we are now.
Okay, let's see if I can guide you through this.
Wait, I see a door now. It's glowing bright Spirus.
And do not approach that door. Heed to my word.
It's so welcoming, though. I've been in here for days. I need to go in.
Anne, listen to me. You do not know what's beyond that door. Anne? The rest of that call was deafening silence, with the occasional wheezing growl of what sounds like a type of dog. While he's playing back that message, I received an email claiming that the East Wing has just reappeared. However, now the walls appear to be painted bright red. Thomas appeared along with the hall. Scientists say that he has aged to about age 63. I'm holding a picture of him now. Besides the wrinkles and the Gandalf beard, he looks about the same. Still no sign of Anne or Brandon. We asked Thomas for a comment, and he looked deeply into the sky and shook his head. Thomas has not said anything since his return, apart from his occasional chant of even a language that linguistics fail to recognize. Michael Gray is now speaking to him, probably trying to get a new member for the Church of Castarticism. English teachers at Magnolia High have recently discovered a missing word from the dictionary. The word is frabjous. The context of this word or how it's supposed to be used is still unknown, but it is a real word, they say. Oh, a message just flew from under the door. Let's see what it says. Okay then. Listeners, forget the last minute. That word has been placed on a banned word list several years ago. Knowledge of the word can lead to severe punishment, so it's best advised to forget this broadcast altogether. The library recently installed new seats with outlets in them. These chairs are to be used for students to charge their electronic devices while they read their novels. However, you may be asked to move later. You see, with several students having overdue books or library fines, electric chairs add that extra incentive for students to bring their book in. The new policy of the library is that after a book is overdue for longer than 2 weeks, the student will be electrocuted using the chair. The new slogan for the library? Reading. It's electrifying. Updates on the hallway vanishings. The upper west wing of the school has just disappeared. This time no students went missing. Brandon, the student who went missing in the east wing, was found on top of what used to be the Arby's. His age seems to have progressed about 8 years, making him 25. He refuses to leave his spot, repeating, "It's all broken." We're still unsure what this is supposed to mean, but when we questioned him about Anne's status, he just looked into the sky and said, "Potato salad." So, do with that what you will. In traffic, the rate of exiting the school's parking lot has slowed to about 3 inches per second. This is not due to the students' vehicles, but rather it appears as though students have forgot how to remain in a single file line. School administrators are considering having each student take a kindergarten course once more in exchange for a parking sticker. Also, the school administrators would like to remind students that if they own a truck, they do not own the road. 90% of everyone else in Magnolia owns a truck, and owning the road would create a proprietorial mishap. If you own a truck, you still have to follow the same rules as everyone else on the road. Yes, I'm talking to you, Cummins crew. Don't make everyone else have to take kindergarten. Although I must admit, having a nap time does seem nice. Now, dearest listeners, the weather. Listeners, the Upper West Wing has just reappeared, with still no sign of Anne or the door she described. Also, no updates on what potato salad or my stomach hurts means. But isn't that how life is? We strive endlessly to make order out of the chaos that is this world. We try continuously to find meaning in the strangest of things. In our small town, in our small school, in the middle of a farm and a fruit stand, we try to move ourselves forward. But the thing that makes our town, that makes us beautiful, is that we are not dependent on what happens here, but rather who we are. As we pass through this small life, people forget what we have done. But we leave shadows, or footprints in the sand that is our school. Nothing in this life matters but who you are. Time will pass you by, and eventually it's not going to matter at what you do today. As long as you stay true to yourself. Everything we do, we pass through, and it should not be taken lightly. Listeners, after all that has happened today, remember Anne. We may not see her again, but her footprints remain. Isn't that all that matters anyway? The impressions you leave upon this earth? Remember, dear listeners, that you are valuable, complete, and loved. And it is a great day to be a Magnolia Bulldog, alive or not. Good night, Magnolia. Good night.
Welcome to Magnolia is a fan-based podcast made by the Fandom Club of Magnolia High School, based on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, created by Joseph Fink. The voice of Magnolia is Max Beeman, the voice of Anne, myself, Jessica Miller. It has been written by Max Beeman and Trip Gaunt. The MISD School Board does not support any opinions expressed in this podcast, and it has been made purely for entertainment purposes. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to hear more, email us at welcometomagnolia@gmail.com. The Phantom Club meets Tuesdays during PLC in room 1115, and we are always looking for more members. Thank you, and please stay tuned for silence with an occasional popping sound.